The order of curriculum never really recovered. We stopped in Gibraltar and spent pennies on postcards home, while local men cheered and whistled at the immodest but fashionable hemlines of the English schoolgirls. Now a rope of colored lights was illuminating the dance floor. Most times I would have remained pressed to the wall at the edge of the action, while others danced to a tamla or a rock steady record. But this was not someone's front room with chairs pushed back. We were all at sea, and the rules were different. The courage that would have failed me had I known I must face the girl in school the next day was suddenly located. She was from another district. We would be ships in the night. I asked her to dance. She reluctantly agreed, clearly indicating I was not her ideal prince. My hand hovered close to her shoulder, barely daring to touch it, but near enough to feel the warmth of her skin through the material. The very fingertips of my other hand grazed the small of her back as I guided us out of the path of more entranced lovers, occasionally being separated by chaperones when they pressed a little too close. The girl's hands rested limply on my shoulders. So indifferent was her touch that I knew we would not be connected once the record ended. The hypnotic, muffled drums of Mick Fleetwood's Pulse and Peter Green's rounded, rolled-off tone could not extend long enough. Of course, in those days, I didn't break records down to the components parts, other than to sing along with the vocal line, the guitar solo, or a horn refrain. Once these diagrams of chords were handed round, and I pressed my feeble fingers to the fretboard, and some semblance of music came out, everything began to change. Man of the world turned on the suspension of a D chord that would enter many of my songs in the coming years. My desire to play the song, and that which was expressed in someone else's lyrics, drove me on past my frustrations. At failing to do it well, I gathered a fair few chords in the attempt, far more than I needed to play simpler songs that I had thought close to me. I never went much for campfire tunes.